It's been 3 long years or more since I left Brummagem, and when I came back home again to good old Brummagem, to St Andrew's ground I had to go, but the blessed city had altered so that it filled my heart with grief and woe as I made my way through Brummagem. The market hall has come and gone in good old Brummagem, and Nelson's had to move along in dear old Brummagem. It seems as if the future will close down the station on Snow Hill, and the bull rings now become Schweppesville.
We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham's the team, down at St Andrews. We are all supporters of our team. The chant of Super Blues ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's see you in the cup, singing in our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the pointed roll when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton.
And away win, 4 days till D-Day. Casting all knows fate, and for Zachary and McDermott gone. Just another week being a Birmingham City fan. How are you tonight? It's Monday 7:30 right through till 9, broadcasting to you live from Birmingham. I know Chris likes to call it Solihull, but it's Birmingham to me.
It's Solihull.
And you're in Alton anyway. We do this every week. Got to say, very happy birthday to Shane. First off this week, happy birthday to you, mate. I know you and Fee. I did say I'd give you a quick mention, so have a good day, have a good birthday. Right, in studio tonight we've got Gabrielle.
Good evening.
And we've got GA.
How do?
Mrs Brown.
Good evening.
And my own son Adam, actually.
Hello.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the one and only legend himself, Mr Paul Tait.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya?
Hello everyone.
Tatey Ravon. I bet you remember that, yeah?
Yeah.
Just a bit. You still get reminded of it now?
Yeah, I got it on Saturday when I was doing the commentary on the game up at Blackpool, and we were in amongst all the supporters, and the fans started singing. That's a bit embarrassing.
Do you like it?
Well, it's a bit embarrassing. There's a story behind it. When I was younger, so it's a bit.
Well, let's have the story.
Go on.
That's what we're all about tonight. That's what we're all about.
Everyone asked me why. Even my son before I come out tonight said, "Dad, why do they say Tatey Ravon?" And I said, "Well, son, I was a bit of a lad when I was young.
Raver.
Bit of a rave when I was in my late teens and that. I used to go to all the raves all over the country and that, and the fans picked up on that. Used to see me at the raves. Player profile that we did in the programmes,
yeah.
as you do to this day, as players do. But for one particular game, we were on the coach going somewhere, and you have your card schools where all the players are doing their card schools, and us younger ones, we went into cards and things like that. So we got hold of pieces of paper with all the players' profiles on, and we decided to fill them in for the rest of the squad without them knowing. And someone got hold of one for me, and my final message to the fans was Ravon, and I didn't know about that. And they handed it into the club, and rather than the club look at all the player profiles and think there's something amiss here, they only printed them word for word of everything that was what was written down. So it was a bit embarrassing because I didn't know what was going to be said, but next thing you know, the fans have clocked onto it, and something stuck ever since.
It don't take us long, does it? Clock onto something like that.
No, but it's blues as in blues. The admin those days, I thought they would just binned all the pieces of paper because we wrote some really stupid things on the forms and that, but they actually printed everything, which is a bit bizarre.
Grand dandy. Okay, right, and away win the weekend. Cracking win up at Blackpool. Lee Novak bagging a brace, which is always good. Not good for his confidence. Gabriel, you was a journey maker.
I was, yeah. I think it was pretty much a typical away performance this season from Blues. I mean, the away games I've been to, we've not really had much of the ball. We've not dictated play, but we've, worked hard to stop, Blackpool in this case, creating chances. And we've been more clinical ourselves. So, all credit to the lads.
Top 6 material of our away form, our own form, relegation on the way in. So, what is it? What is it that changes between a home game and an away game, Paul?
The away games were geared up to counter-attacking football, I think. On Saturday, Blackpool, the first 5 minutes, Makeda, should have scored. We twice down the right-hand side, we got in behind them, put the ball across. Makeda missed the first one. He should have scored. I think he saw the net bulging before it actually made connection with the ball. After that, Blackpool took control first half. Their front two, Davis and Andy Keogh, I think, Andy Keogh scored. They were fantastic first half for them. I think what's been to Kevin Broaders about at half time, and both agreed that they were the most direct team we've played against this season, in a good way, not like getting the ball and just smashing it forward. But every ball they put in the channels, it was good ball, it wasn't over hit, and they were onto it every single time. They had the willing runners, like they were taking it in turns, Davis and Keogh, and they really caused us problems the first half. And they played that diamond formation in the middle of the park, which caused us problems. Second half, we changed it by taking Adeyemi off and stuck Chris Burke in there. Obviously brought Big Ziggy on, and it worked a lot better for us. Matching them up in the middle of the park, and we did start to create a lot more chances. But first half, I was a bit worried. I thought another goal would have gone in. The game would have gone out of our reach.
Yeah, I was at home because I was working over the weekend as I quite often do, and just managed to catch it up on BBC. The sports channel there, and I was 1-0 down. Keogh, 22 minutes. I thought, all right, turn the telly off.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a fantastic finish. It was. All our defenders got drawn into the ball. The ball's gone, but got to give him credit. It was a good finish. It was a fantastic finish, but it was poor defending from us. And for me, we give the ball away so easily. 5-10 yard passes. It's criminal what we do. It's basic. I know. I always look for the manager's reaction when players are giving the ball away. And Lee Clark, he was so infuriated. His arms up in the air, going mad. Because in training all week, you'll be doing your passing. Amongst passing to each other, 5-10 yard pass and move. And it comes to a Saturday, we don't seem to be able to do that.
There's other people on the pitch on a Saturday, aren't there?
It's just I can't put my finger on it. But our home form, when we have been playing with one up front, with Big Ziggy up front, the quality of ball going into him has not been as good as what it has been away from home. Like when our victories at Barnsley, Huddersfield, Blackburn, when Big Ziggy has been absolutely fantastic. He's battered their defenders. The quality of ball going into him has been brilliant, and then it's allowed us, Berkey and Novak, Jesse Lingard when he was here, to break in off him. But you need the quality of ball going into him. At home, it hasn't been there. Big Ziggy's been getting slaughtered for it, his work rate, but the ball's been going over his head into the corners, and he's got to, on his heels, got to chase the ball, which he can't do. He's not. You can see the sheer size of him. He's not geared up to chasing ball in the channels. There's got to be good quality ball into him to allow the rest of the team to build. But the quality just isn't there at home.
Yeah, comment from one of our co-presenters, actually, Ollie, who was out on sabbatical at the moment at university. He said Lee Clark's second half tactics won the game on Saturday. The introduction of Ziggy at half time and the diamond midfield. And Ipe, is it Ipe?
Yeah.
That's IBE. I know it's spelled IBE, but it's pronounced Ipe. Coming on with 20 minutes to go was obviously a bonus.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Did he look quality?
It's only a short time. He's only on for 20 minutes, and he looked good. He looked positive. As I said, I was saying when I was doing the radio commentary, very similar to Jesse Lingard, as in, as soon as he gets the ball in turns, there's one thing in his mind: is to get at someone. He really does, and I think he's got a little bit more speed than Jesse Lingard as well. He's a very powerful lad, and he's highly thought of at Liverpool. But he did change the game. Give all the fans loved it. Someone coming on young and having a go. And obviously the MAU's his performance on Saturday was immense. He really was fantastic.
There's one thing I've got to absolutely credit Lee Clark for. That is his loan signings that he's making. They're absolutely brilliant. I mean, some of the guys and some of the teams that he's getting them off as well. They're top notch, top dollar, top draw.
He has, swung the channel to get some of them.
and it's brilliant for these lads to come in and get first team football, albeit they are sort of in a relegation battle. Let's face it, we're not out of the woods
yet. But that was a massive climb.
Massive, it was a massive win, because if we had got beat and then everyone below us was won. We're back in the mire, aren't we? But his loan signings have been fantastic, and Emir Hughes, he very rarely does he waste the ball. The only thing, he wasted a couple of balls on Saturday, and one of those was in the 92nd minute when he just whacked into Rosehead to kill a few more seconds. But he's to watch him on Saturday. I think the Huddersfield game last week, I said he was a welcome to the Championship for him, because they stopped him playing Huddersfield. He didn't have the ball as much. When he did get the ball, they're on top of him. And it's very similar to when I started, when I was a young lad. You have your good games and you have your bad games, and sometimes you don't get the ball and teams do pressurise you a little bit more. And he got that last week against Huddersfield. But Saturday at Blackpool, he's absolutely fantastic, and he has been called up for Wales as well. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and a cracking win. And Ipswich up next. What do you think of that one?
It's a tough, isn't it? It's a long old trek.
I've been there once to Ipswich.
Yeah, it's a monster trek.
On the old special trains when they used to do them back in the day.
Yeah, Great Yarmouth. Those are the days. It's a shame we haven't got the last away game of the season. I think a few more of our supporters would have travelled, but £32.50 for a ticket.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't think many supporters will be making that journey, because that is an absolute disgrace.
But then, having said that, it was £30 for a Birmingham Derby ticket a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's equally a disgrace. Yeah, that's awful as well. I mean, that's
we were chatting off air earlier. We chat about it regularly. It's something that comes up regularly on the show, and we do we do thrash it out. But how can you justify the kind of costs?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know how much the Forest game was before Christmas, but that was pretty cheap. I think, was it 15?
We went to that one, didn't we? Yeah,
it was cheap, wasn't it? And we had, was it 24,000 there for that game? I know it was before Christmas, and Forest brought about 3,000 fans, but still we had 20,000 Birmingham supporters there,
which is what
you want. The fans are there. The fans are there, but they're not mugs. They're not going to pay these kind of money to, especially at our home form as it is. They're not doing it. Like you've seen at Blackpool, we took 2,000 fans to Blackpool. Charlton a couple of weeks ago down there took just over 2,001 to Charlton. That's another great following. The fans are there, but they're not mugs, and they're not, times are hard, and they're not going to pay these kind of fees that the clubs are charging.
No, crazy. Blue Wobber's got his ticket for Ipswich, so he's off on his journeys. Good luck to you, my good friend, and let's hope we bring back the 3 points from that one. All right, okay, that's enough about Blackpool then. Let's get on to Paul Tait, shall we?
Okay. Sounds ominous. This sounds like a police interview. This does.
Nothing to we haven't got two tape recorders. We haven't got two tape recorders, have we? We've actually got a very nice shirt on the wall, which we're going to get you to sign in a very short while, and we'll obviously be auctioning them off for one of our local charities.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is an imitation. It is an imitation of the shirt that you wore at Wembley.
Poor one,
it's a very
quick,
one,
very quickly done.
It's about 4 sizes the size as well.
Yeah,
that's not what I wore.
It's not even that.
Oh dear. All right. Okay. Right. When did you first get into Birmingham City Football Club?
Birmingham City. Well, I grew up. I was born in Sutton Coldfield, a good old. I didn't live in Sutton. I lived on Castle Vale.
Oh right, okay.
From the roughest,
used to visit Sutton, did you?
No, it was one of the roughest housing estates in Britain, I think, at the time. I lived in the 10th floor of a high-rise block called Kemble Tower, and I stayed there for the first 5 years. With my nan was one of the first families on the Vale, and I stayed living there first 5 years, and moved to where did we move to? Then moved to Yardley, and I went to school up not far from the Blues Ground in Hay Mills,
right? Yeah,
Red Hill School. Which pub, I don't know if the pub's still there, the Red Hill Tavern on the Cove Road. I'm not sure.
It's closed down.
Closed down.
Only recently.
The same as it closed down.
I used to go to school just behind there, and then I was in Yardley, South Yardley. Then I moved to Stetchford, with the Man-Race pub just behind there. So what I'm talking about, it's just behind pubs. I went to school just behind the pub, lived just behind the pub. But then my dad was a Glaswegian, my father, and he used to take me up to Rangers. He's a big Rangers family. I come from in Glasgow, and my dad's brother Alec, he was a Rangers Villa fan, and he used to have a box at the Villa at Trinity Road, and he used to take me down there. It was when I was 6, 7, 8, right, something like that. And then
so you used to get forced to go there.
I didn't. I'll tell you the truth now. I was going to watch Rangers play as much as I could, because I was used to love going to Scotland. And then my family obviously used to take me down to watch the Villa play in the boxes. And then it wasn't until I was about 9 where my dad's friends on the Vale. There's a few Blues fans, mainly predominantly Villa area. You see, Castlevale was at the time, but the Birmingham supporters on there, they'd started to take me down to the Blues games, and it was always, I used to get a lot more of a buzz down. It was always a lot rougher at the Blues ground. I don't know what it was. It was just different.
Welcome.
It was just different, and I think with my mentality at the time, living on.
So this would have been in the old stadium.
Oh
as
yeah,
it was,
so this was in the 70s, late 70s.
Yeah,
I think my first game I went to, I don't know if it was 79. I'm not sure. Down the Blues. I remember it was against Man United, and it was.
Was that when we beat them 5-1?
I don't know. I can't. It was. All I remember was getting out there alive, and I was only a young kid, and it was a hell of a lot of trouble. That's all I remember from that day. And bearing in mind, my parents let me go with lads from the estate.
Right.
Why they did that, I don't know. And let me get on the bus, and God knows what. It was quite daunting. But from that
it was
day,
a very daunting place, though, wasn't it, back then? It was
I
a
mean,
very
you could do
daunting
anything.
place.
I mean, the police didn't have a clue then those days like they have today, and
No.
you could get away with literally anything. You know, it was a very dangerous place. And all the old skinhead, type gangs and that were all about then. It was very, very dangerous. But that's when I started. It was, and then obviously when I started training at Blues when I was 11, I think. I started training at the Blues, and I actually signed my first little contract when I was 12.
Still got it?
No.
Oh.
Well, it was all put in the drawer. You're not supposed to sign till you're 14, but I made
right.
a commitment to the club at 12, and I said, yeah, I'll sign, yeah. No, they looked after me brilliant. And times then were very, very hard.
So who was the gaffer back then?
When I first signed was Ron Saunders.
Ron Saunders.
He was the actual manager of the club, but obviously my youth team manager was the guy who brought me to the club was Norman Bedell. It was, the times are very, very difficult then. Like the young lads now think this is bad. Birmingham supporters, you think this is bad. What we're going through is absolutely nothing compared to what we're going through in the early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, when the club we had 4,000 fans there, 5,000 fans in a ground that held 45,000. I think it held then, St Andrews.
The old St Andrews. I mean, I think
the
the most I ever saw in there was 50 something. 50
well, I've been on there against Watford, Nottingham Forest when there's been 43, and Villa 43,000. I think against the Villa.
And we're talking noisy back in the day as well.
It was amazing. But the thing is, and then obviously when I signed for the club, and I turned into an apprentice then, and then I had to run out in front of crowds of 4,000 or 5,000, and then we had to the next day on the Sundays we had to go and sweep the terraces as well. So you can imagine trying to sweep those terraces, horrible terraces.
Those terraces.
Have you?
Yeah.
Not as good as me.
Because I did it for Ryan Saunders. Do you remember when Ryan Saunders? He was calling for volunteers to come and clean the ground up, and you get a free ticket if you went, and loads of people turned up. No, didn't get any work at all.
Yeah.
Well, there was tough times.
Yeah.
I mean, we as a kid coming through the ranks, it was awful. We were working 6 days a week from 8 till 5 for £28.50 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I used to work with my dad on a Sunday as a roofer. He was a roofer, my dad, and just to get some money. It was really, really tough. For £28.50, it was on the YTS scheme. It was nothing. When we got a bus pass out of it, but it was really, really difficult. And obviously making my debut at such a young age as well.
How old were you when you made your
16.
debut? 16 when you made your
At the
debut.
time
Who was that against?
Leeds.
Right.
Leeds United.
So what did it feel like, a 16-year-old Paul Tait sat in the dressing room with all the professional footballers around you, and it's Birmingham? Are you a Birmingham City supporter yourself?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I was running around on the streets, on the terraces with all the loons, shall we say, before that.
Probably bumped into you once or twice.
Yeah, we probably have, yeah. So to go from being a supporter, growing up in Stetchford and the big,
Do you think that very first day, you're 16 years old and you've got the badge on, and it's the McCoy, like the real shirt. It's not the shirts that we're wearing out.
Well, it's I can't describe how daunting it is, because 9 months previous, you were playing on the streets with your mates, and then all of a sudden you're pitched into a football club. You don't expect to be playing for a first team within that short, space of time. It's really, really daunting. I wasn't ready for it, but the predicament we were in as a club, we had no money, form was out the window, players weren't the best to learn off.
Was this the Keemar's time, or?
No, it was Ken Weldon.
It
was before that. This was bad. You forget about these times where I'm talking about were 100 times worse than what the club are going through at the minute. It was absolutely shocking. When you're walking out of rooms, you have to turn off the lights, and it was bad. It was really, really bad. But as I said, playing for the club at such a young age, I wasn't ready for it. But there's not a lot you can say. You can't say, I'm not ready. You know, I've just left school.
Your boots are on.
Your boots are on, and you've got to get out there, and you're battling against big men.
So
Really,
you started the game,
I come on as a sub for the last half an hour.
right?
Got man of the match. So that's
That
how bad,
last-
that's how
that
bad we were.
That moment where
28
the
minutes.
gaffer says to you, "You're on."
It was petrifying. Yeah, I was
I bet it
absolutely
was.
bricking it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. It was on a Friday night against Leeds. David Batty.
Oh dear.
The Peter Swan. They had some good players.
Yeah.
Leeds. You know, it was tough. You know, it was tough. But I hit the post with a shot when I bottled it when 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper and he saved it. But I did bottle it. Admit that. But I got man of the match. Obviously, I think
That's not bad for half an hour's work, is it? Man of the match.
No, I think that's how bad we were at the time. You know what I mean? So it was so daunting. It was fantastic in one sense that you make your debut so young and you're playing for the first team, which is what was my main aim to do. But I didn't think physically I was ready for it. You know, I weighed 9.5 stone, something like that. And I was
Where's all the air gone, by the way?
my hair, I had to get it cut for safety reasons because I was getting attacked all the time by Villa fans. You know? So I thought, better cut it. I've still got a nice head of hair anyway.
It's not bad, is it? It's not
It's a
bad.
good head of hair for my age. You know.
It's far better than.
I'm 42, but I look good, don't I?
It's far better than Rooney's, anyway.
I know, yeah. I'll be there soon. I'll be borrowing some money, I think, for the transplant
Yeah.
in the Swede. No, but Tait, I say, like, it was a fantastic experience playing for your hometown club, and obviously after the game, like you're back with all your mates and everything. It was good times. Good times in that sense.
All the way
playing.
back, all the way back then, and all those times when we had 4,000 turn up, and you think it was a big crowd, and you'd be looking up towards the old tea stand on the top of where the toilets were at the top of the
cop, yeah,
Tilton corner,
yeah.
right? Oh, they're streaming in, 4,000.
It was. We knew the crowds were absolutely shocking. You know, they really were poor, but it's not a lot you could do about it. You know, it was all I could get about was watching all the crisp packets and the pies and everything going flying everywhere, thinking I've got to go and clean them up.
Well, every time you heard
It's
that
not
air
good.
horn going off, it was me with him on my shoulders.
Well, the abuse in those days was, you could hear everything. Obviously, it was that many in the ground. Like,
Yeah.
every person had screamed abuse at you.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, we did get a lot of it because we were pretty poor. You actually knew who the person was. He was standing on his own somewhere. And you could have half of them were my mates at the time. So, they're tough times. Really.
Worst
really
game
tough.
Paul Tait ever played in?
Sorry.
Worst game you ever played in?
Worst game.
Yeah.
What, as in performance, or as in
just the general sort of
for Blues, oh dear, probably one of the hammerings we got somewhere when we were really shocking, like Watford away, we got beat 5. I think.
You've got a few to choose from.
Yeah, I could be here all day now. You've taken me off now, you've got me going. I think, where else was there? Some of the lower league clubs. I think we went to Wigan
I was there.
the one year, and it was the old Springfield
Oh,
Road.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
you
old-
could
the old-
just walk all the way round.
You was there as well, Chris.
I think
weren't
we
you?
get beat.
On
I
the
think I
mud
might have
bank.
scored. I don't know. I'm not sure.
On the
Did we
mud
draw
bank.
1-1 or did we-
1-1. It was a what? Right, I've got a badge
I
at
score
home which says
that day?
Birmingham. But that was to go up. We needed to win that one to go up as champions.
No.
Right?
No, that was Huddersfield, wasn't it?
No, it was Wigan, and I've got a badge at home which says Birmingham City champions for whatever 19,
Yeah.
whenever it was, and we didn't actually make it. We only drew 1-1.
Right.
But I've got a little metal badge
Well, I played
that
at
said
Wigan.
we were champions and we weren't. There you go.
Played there another time when the only entertainment our supporters got. I mean, the Wigan at their away end was all like a slope of grass. That's all.
That's we were sliding down.
And
it.
everyone was just
Yeah,
sliding
yeah,
down. It all
just
came in the
soaked-
rain to
soaked.
get the entertainment. There's been many games when I can
Yeah.
think, oh dear, what happened there? But loads, even at St Andrews. I got sent off against the Villa
No.
at Villa Park. It was 0-0 at the time, and we were a better team, and I think we would have. We would have gone on to win the game that night with the team that we had out. We had, we didn't have the greatest team out, but we were outplayed them, and they went on to win the cup.
Yep.
I got sent off, and they scored about 10 minutes later. Dean Saunders, and they went on to win the cup, and they had a very good team that day. But that's another one where I really rue that game.
Oh.
There's so many like.
Should I ask you what your best game is, though?
Best game?
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. That game was all. I played alright that game. I was playing fantastically well that game.
Where does the Wembley final sit in?
The Wembley game, it was. It's hard. People say you should say, but when you're at Wembley, it's not, when you're there, it's just like another game. Like you
Yeah.
do see loads of fans. You're looking out for your mates, and it's a difficult situation when you're at Wembley. Like it's a one-off, and you don't savour it because you want to win the game anyway. But then I remember 3 days later we had a massive game against Brentford. Who were us two going for promotion, had to get out of the
Yeah, I
league,
remember.
and for our priority was to get out of the league, get back into the Championship, obviously League One, and so a lot of our focus was on that game, and that's, I think, we played so poorly against Carlisle.
Still come away with a win, though.
Yeah, we come away with a win, but our focus as a team, I think a lot of the players were more focused on getting a result against Brentford, which we did 3 days later. We had near enough a full house at St Andrews, and we went on to win 2-0. And that was a fantastic atmosphere.
Full house at St Andrews is just
near
amazing.
enough. That was 26,000, something like that. But
when St Andrews is rocking, it's the right place to be.
Yeah, it's a fantastic atmosphere. I've played down there, many a game, and it's been brilliant. I just wish to God we get that back. They're not too.
Blue Eye was saying, no matter how bad the crowds were, BCFC fans always stick together, especially for the away days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've just mentioned that previously, haven't I, about the away games now. But I remember when I played back in the 80s, we always had a really, really good following. But one thing we have got at St Andrews is a lot of characters in our support.
Without a doubt.
I've grown up with them. I sort of drink on Chelmsford Wood quite a lot, and Toll Cross, those areas, and after the games with all the lads all around the city centre and that.
We used to sit on the Cop Corner, there'd be a guy behind us who had a pretend trumpet. And he'd just be playing it all through the games. Remember him?
There's loads of loons down the Blues.
And everybody would be going. And he'd be playing this.
There was some loons.
It's lovely. I love it.
That's the thing about supporting Birmingham. You're all, it's the supporters of Crackers, and a lot of characters down there, and there always has been. And long may it continue.
I hope so. Got goosebumps again. Don't start me. Okay. Best player in the past
that I've played with?
Yeah, go on then.
For a Birmingham shirt, it would have to be Mark Ward.
Mark Ward, really?
Central midfielder. Yeah. He helped me so much. He was a fantastic player. To learn off him, he was some player. Played for Everton, Man City, West Ham. He should have got England cap. But he was a good player.
Because I actually saw the highlights of the game against Carlisle, and I seem to remember your goal was scored by you giving the ball away at first, and then Mark Ward.
Yeah, I think I fell over. I think I fell over trying to play 1-2 and just fell over. If I'm honest with you, Mark Ward, he was a fantastic player. He's very experienced, and just to sit in there midfield, a great passer of the ball. He was fantastic. He was a hell of a player, and I'm still in touch with him to this day.
Good.
Really good player.
You know what's coming next, then, don't you?
Go on then.
Worst player you played with?
Worst player
you played with?
How long we got? I can't really say that.
You can whisper it.
I won't get beat up on.
You're right, you've had your haircut. Nobody recognise you.
Probably one of the worst players. Dear oh dear. I'd have to be Carl Richards.
Right.
I don't know if you know Carl Richards.
No.
Well, Carl Richards was a big black centre forward who used to play for Bournemouth, and at the time we played Bournemouth that season. Gary Pendry was the manager, and we bought him. We had no money, but the money we did have, we bought him from Bournemouth for 80 grand, I think. But up until that day, he was the only forward that hadn't scored against us up until that that season, and we bought him. Right, which is a bit of a mad one, but he was just crackers. I remember training with him on the pitch, and that all he used to talk about was prison and things like that. And when I was on B wing and all, it was just crackers. And then when we was playing Oldham, I think we were playing Oldham at St Andrews the one game, and I passed him the ball to get the 1-2 back, and he actually stood on the ball, and his feet were that big. He flattened the ball. He was that big and clumsy, and I've looked at him. I thought I can't play with him. I thought, but he was pretty bad. He was bad.
Well, we had a bit of a straw poll in here the other week, and our worst Birmingham player ever, I think Ricky Otto got the vote, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Ricky, did he really?
Yeah, Jippo.
I'm surprised.
He was our own player, Jippo.
He was. I mean, against us for Southend, he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
He used to tear us apart. But then when he come to Blues, for £800,000, a hell of a lot of money. It didn't work out for him. I mean, it just didn't work out. It's one of the moves for him. He used to beat a man, and his cross would go into Rose. It just didn't work out for him. In some games he was very, very good, but you can't deny. I wouldn't say he was the worst player I've played with. Definitely not.
No, it's just
played
we
with
just have
a hell of a lot
a bit of a
worse.
straw. It's only a bit of fun, right? We just have
Yeah.
a bit of a poll, and I think us old schoolers came up with
You say that about the
Ricky's name.
about the £800,000, and how we long for days when we could actually buy players.
We bought a few, didn't we? Bought Kevin Francis.
I mean,
as well.
80,000. Crikey.
Yeah.
Be nice to be able to buy some.
Obviously now these days we've got nothing.
No.
It's you know it's scary times, isn't it? You know,
It
it's
is.
nice.
It's very scary times. I might come up to that after the second half and see a few opinions about that one. All right. What's the worst football ground you've ever played at?
Worst football ground I've ever played
Yeah.
at would have to be somewhere like Springfield Park, Wigan, Bristol Rovers when they had to move to Bath's ground. That was
Oh,
awful.
yes.
Macclesfield, the old Macclesfield.
Macclesfield.
ground.
I went to that one. Was it Chesterfield? Wasn't it? That way. No, Macclesfield. They're all climbing over the roofs to get in. Wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
it was-
Oh, well,
this
you probably
road-
wouldn't see that. You'd still been in the dressing room.
There
Like,
was a lot. Halifax that before it got done. That was bad.
Oxford was pretty dire.
The old Manor. It's a
Yeah.
nice pitch though.
Was
Good
it?
pitch. I know it's on a slope,
Yeah.
but it was nice surface to
Yeah.
play on. And you got to look at the surface as well. It's like, I played for Oxford, don't you? I'm not slagging Oxford off.
We don't look at
You know,
my funny moments was at Oxford football ground, and we'd played there, and one of our supporters decided to scale the floodlights, and he
Yeah.
was 3/4 of the way up, and all the supporters were just pointing at him, singing "The Blues are going up."
Yeah, I remember what was the score that game? Was it when we won 3-0? Was it?
Yeah,
When we got
it was a
promoted
win.
that year,
Yeah,
when everyone- I was
absolutely
at that
jam-packed
game,
in that end. It was just after the no, it wasn't. No, the Macclesfield game was. I think it was just after the
Yeah.
Liverpool Forest incident.
Oh right, yeah.
And
yeah.
it was it was a bit scary in some of them
Yeah.
small. And I remember driving up there, and we pulled into a field opposite the football ground.
Yeah, I know,
One
yeah.
burly police lady, bless her, country bumpkin, no disrespect to her whatsoever. Hiya lads, intelligence says there's about 300 of you coming to us. We've just passed about 6,000
Yeah.
on the M6.
Yeah,
Thought you better get another field open.
Yeah, there was a lot of Birmingham supporters there that day. I remember that day with great fondness, but it was a good day. I think I don't know if we won 3-0 that day. I'm not sure, but it was a good day. But as saying that the grounds in those days weren't not like they are today. There was all standing and a little bit of seating, and it was a lot rougher. Back in the late 80s.
I preferred it, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I'd
Loved
give
it.
anything. There's nothing worse than
We
sitting
used to
down
have
at
him like
football.
it would be three. You'd be on my shoulders in the cop.
Yeah, there's nothing
You know what
worse
I
than
mean?
sitting down.
Not in the cop, but like right at the back of the cop. Giving it large.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do reintroduce stand. I can't see it myself. I think
Safe standing, they call it. Then,
I'm always
don't
going
they?
to stand there. I can't see it myself. I just can't see it. If it'll happen, it'll catch on. Safe standing area. They do it in
like
Germany. I think Dortmund and all that do it, don't they? And they've got massive
Yeah,
crowds.
yeah.
I think we're the best supported club in Europe at the moment.
But then they know
Attendances.
to look after the supporters, though, don't they?
Of course, we obviously with
No
ticket
disrespect
prices
to
for
it.
one. Ticket prices and things like that.
That end looks fantastic, doesn't it?
The Copper in Dortmund, yeah. It is. I went to the Champions League final. Watched Munich, Dortmund this year, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. The best I've witnessed. And I've been to all the old firm games as well. To absolutely loads of them. And the atmosphere there was absolutely second to none. Both sets of supporters were brilliant.
So what about local derbies then? Like, you got your Rangers Celtic. How would you rate the Blues B6 one in terms of hostility?
Yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. Yeah, now, it's years ago it was bad, but not as hostile now. It's a lot more bitterness there now. But the younger generation coming through. It was always us towards them. Obviously, they win the European Cup, they won this, always rubbing our noses in it. But now, ever since we got back into the Premiership, we've won something. In a good few seasons.
Don't give them credit. They have won a catering award.
They have, yeah, they're very good.
They did win a catering
I
award.
forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's all right.
But their supporters, their younger supporters. We've got a lot of hostility, shall we say, towards us.
Do you think that's anything to do with social networks as well?
Yeah, of course. Social networking.
Because I mean,
Twitter
when
Facebook and all that.
we were kids, the only time we saw a Villa fan was if we were in city centre.
Yeah,
one had accidentally got a scarf on and strayed into her.
Yeah, you've got all your pages, haven't you? Dedicated to banter, haven't you? Your derby banter and things like that. But the hostility's bad. But very very bad between Blues and Villa. And
would you say the Celtic Rangers? No, they're not playing against each other at the minute. But you say the Blues Villa is right up there.
Celtic and Rangers.
Yeah.
No.
So Celtic and Rangers.
Celtic and Rangers. It's religion.
Is that the one?
Is it? It's religion. It's a totally different kettle of fish, isn't it? It's not it's not just football. It's a way of life. You can go home from a Rangers Celtic game and you could bump your neighbour and you could be dead. It's happened in the last few years. I think there's been about 9 murders in the last 10 years up there after games. And
Murders.
Yeah, you know, Taggart investigating them. So it's the animosity up there is you know, you've really got to be careful. You know, don't wear your colours when you go to the games. You know, you've got to be really, really careful up there. You know, when you go to the Old Firm games. Whenever Tom I've been up there, you know, I never wear any colours, and you know, always in the back of your head, shall we say? But the Blues Villa games it's I think all local derbies.
What about when you're on the pitch? The atmosphere that's created at St Andrews, you know, against
Villa.
Yeah.
It's horrible,
especially when it was standing.
Yeah, it's a nasty atmosphere, isn't it? You know, it's not a good atmosphere. You know, you can sense the poison in the crowd. You know, it's bad. You know,
I think you've summed it up in that word, haven't you? Poison.
Yeah, it's poisonous. Yeah. But you know, but as a player, I used to like things like that. You know, it's I thrived on that atmosphere. Like for me, like I used to love going to play at places like Millwall and that. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Is it true to say you were a bit of a naughty boy?
Yeah.
Is it true? What, sorry, Chris?
I said, is it true you were a bit of a naughty boy?
Yeah. We all know that.
Yeah. So like to me, it was a lot of players used to like. I've played with players when we have gone to Millwall and have absolutely bricked it. Absolutely bricked it. You could tell even when getting on the coach, getting to Millwall, because we used to always get attacked, you see, by their supporters, bricked and everything. And I used to love that, because it used to get me going. But a lot of the other players used to be on the floor cowering, and I thought, well, I wouldn't want you in the trenches with me. Do you know what I mean? No chance. I was like, me and a lot of the other players who were more streetwise, shall we say, we got us going, got me going anyway.
A fighter, not a lover.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was I thrived on things like that.
Right, okay.
Yeah, what the power of the interweb?
Yeah.
We should have a question coming up right now. This has worked out right. Coming here,
Hello, you're listening to me, Kieran Corcoran. Just a little message for Paul Tait, really. Good luck with the boys in tonight's Tilton Talk Show, and this one's for you, Tait. Keep right on.
Any ideas why roll out the barrel, Paul?
No idea that one.
Capo, you're going to get another belt around the head next time I see you, mate.
It's a nice song.
It is a nice song, yeah. Bless him. All right, okay. So what's Paul Tait doing nowadays with his life?
Right, these days I've got my own football coaching business called Midland Soccer Coaching. Go around the Midlands, various schools and sports centres coaching kids. I've been doing it for about 8 years. And any good kids I see, I take to the Blues Academy, to the West Brom Academy.
So you're kind of like a scout as well at the same time, ish.
Ish. I don't go to much like Sunday, Saturday games, but any kids that come through me, and I see them from the age of 4.
So what if you found a little starlet? Would you take him to the Blues, or would you take him to the
I
Albion?
have them. I won a tournament.
No, but would you take him to the Blues or the Albion? If you think
it depends who they're supported. If
So
they support the Albion, I'll take them to Albion.
That's cool.
They support Blues, I'll take them to Blues.
What if they support the B6ers?
Although I don't
Turn your back on them. Turn your back on them. You'll never play, mate. You're not going to
No, I don't think I could ever have a link up with Villa, so I don't think they'd go for it, Villa. Obviously, my name, they don't like me at all. You know,
surely not.
You know, I don't know why, but that's what I do. I take the kids there. I've had a tournament about 3 weeks ago at the Dome at the training ground, a 10-team tournament from all clubs all over the Midlands, big clubs, and I took my little coaching thing from Alzoin. And we played 4-1-4, and I think we won the tournament. And they've taken 3 kids off me from for training, which is brilliant for me and brilliant for the kids. And I've got another under-7 tournament this Saturday there, and I've got a tournament at the Albion as well with my under-6s.
I mean, if you're listening and you can hear some crunching, it's GAA. He's hammering the Bombay mix to be perfect there. He's not even concentrating today. He's just on the Bombay mix. That's what it is.
I mean, one thing I'd ask is, what would you say to people who would maybe say that kids are being, nurtured into a footballing career too early?
Yeah.
Do you think that's the case?
Possibly,
do you think we're putting too much pressure on?
Absolutely, yeah. Possibly. It is a young age. They start them off now under 6s, year 1s now, where they start the training. And they have little games, small-sided games. It is young, but I think what they're trying to do is is a mirror image of the what they do in Holland, what they should have been doing in Holland for many years now. A lot with their ex-players getting involved, the kids at a young age. I think kids now, when you take a kid to an academy and he's 11, they don't want to know the clubs.
No.
Honestly, it's really strange. Like they've got the kids from when they're 7, 6, 7, 8, and they mould them into a little team. They sign them at 9, and to break into that at 10, 11, it's so hard to get the kids in. Their kids have to be exceptional, better than what they've already got. And obviously, the kid at the age 8 or 9 could be brilliant, and then 2 or 3 years down the line, reach a plateau and he'll plateau off. Whereas a kid who's not so strong, who's been released by the club, he'll come better. So it's all swings and roundabouts for kids, really. I understand what you're saying, but they are starting them off a lot earlier now, and it is good training. But the only thing I wish to do is get more ex-pros coaching them, because a lot of the kids coaching them have been to university, got degrees in this, degrees in that, degrees in everything, but they've never played football. So how can you teach a kid football if you've never done it before? I don't get it. And if you're on the continent or Holland, or just harping back to Holland, all their clubs, their academies have an ex-pro with someone alongside them. An ex-pro with someone alongside them.
Right, yeah.
You need someone who's been there and seen it and done it.
Well, I came very close actually to having a professional football career.
Okay.
Oh God, that ball's mixed.
Sorry, what? Unfortunately, I've got 2 left feet, no sense of direction. I was just one of them kids. I just couldn't do it. Just didn't happen for me.
Yeah, it's not.
I kicked a ball with my left foot, dislocated my right knee, and wrapped me leg sideways. You know what I mean?
Got away. It's a lot of the kids that come to me at age 4 and that, no one's taught them to play football at their age. It's a talent that they've been born with.
Yeah.
It's a talent, and some people have got it and some people haven't. It's just one of those things. Not everyone can be footballers.
Yeah. I was good at marbles, but that was about it.
You can't earn no money out of marbles, can you?
They don't even play it nowadays, the kids, do they?
No, just throw them at each other.
Right, I wanted to say now about the best 5-a-side team Paul can make from blues players you have played with.
It's a strange one.
Dear oh dear.
I was quite a deep thinker though, wasn't he? He's got time on his hands.
Right. Oh God. Best 5-a-side team.
Best 5. To pick 5 that you'd say would be your best players.
While you're thinking of that, I've got another. Somebody else has come up with Paul Tait. Paul Tait sounds as good and as comfortable on the microphone as he did on the pitch with the ball at his feet. How about that?
Thank you very much. That's
Playing,
okay.
then?
I know, not a lot. But my best 5-a-side team, oh dear, we're going back. We have Ian Bennett in goal, I'd say. Benno, because he's still knocking about, isn't he? Yeah.
I think he was still in the was it Huddersfield?
Yeah,
team
he's
or-
on the
You've got a
bench.
pair of gloves signed by him, haven't you?
He's on the bench still.
Ian Bennett, yeah.
He'll be there till he's
Or
about
Scott,
60.
I can't
Benno.
remember.
He's frightening, Benno. He'll be there forever. He's a lovely lad. He's a goalkeeper. I'd have to stick Paul Devlin in there.
Yeah.
I'll stick Jose Dominguez.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember Jose
Oh God,
Dominguez.
yeah.
He was absolutely fantastic. I'm just thinking of, just thinking of ball players who could play. So Mark Ward. Have Mark Ward in there. How many's that? I've got 3 or 4.
Is that
That's
you?
3 now. Plus 4, plus if you can.
Take myself. I'll get sent off though.
Yes, we want a substitute then, so we want.
So I'll get sent off like I nearly did in the Masters. And one more. Who could I go for? I need someone at the back just to control everyone and kick everyone. Liam Daesh. So someone that things weren't going right, he'd beat the rest of us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he used to all try and do.
Any specific referees you never got on with?
Not really, because I found out very, very quickly that referees, you can't really beat them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in the end, you'd have your banter with the referee, but sometimes, you just got to take it on the chin and think, you ain't going to change them. Just get on with what the players these days and argue with them, and now it's a lot faster, the game, and we've got all the replays and everything. It's a lot tougher job. But referees, I didn't really fall out with, man. I just remember having a go at one once. I was slaughtered him, and he came up to me and he said, don't have a go at me just because you're having an absolute shocking game. That's all he said to me, and just walked off. He said,
Lesson learned?
He said, you've just been absolutely useless. He said, don't have a go at me. And I went, you know what, man? I said, you're right.
So what do you think about these 2 assistant referees with their little black sticks on the Champions League games?
I don't know what they do.
Oh God, it's
I've
obviously
no
shambles,
idea.
isn't it? It's shambolic.
They know what they do.
I don't know. I've yet to see what
it's not even got a flag on it. It's just a little
make
little
a
black
decision.
stick.
Have any of them ever made a decision? I don't know. I just think the game's going mad. I don't get it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't. Players, every game I watch, I can't. envisage me throwing myself on the floor and like they do, and the slightest touch now, it just seems like they're on the floor at the slightest touch, and they are down, and something I couldn't do. And I speak to players a lot from my era and before me, and I said, what would you have done? Well, we couldn't do that. It's just, you know, like Nicola Zigic got pushed in the throat at Blackpool Saturday by Tony McMahon, right back in, and he went down, and the guy could have easily got a red card. But I said, would he do that on the street? If someone cooked him on the street and pushed him in the throat, he's 6'8". Would he have gone down that easy?
Yeah.
It's, to me, I can't understand what players are doing.
Yeah, another thing that makes it difficult for the referee.
It makes it difficult for the referee. I know players, you're not supposed to raise your hands and everything, but I think it's a man's game which is turning into not a man's game. There's no tackling. I mean, the player I was watching for Blues is Paul Robinson. I love it. I love the way he's still old school. He's still getting stuck in. It must be killing him not to make some of these tackles. There's nothing better than having a 50-50 tackle. Or, you know, gets the whole team going. But these days, if your 50-50 tackle is mistimed, you're off. You don't get a yellow card anymore. It's a straight red. So, like, you know, it's going a bit out the game. That, you know, that toughness, and something I really, really don't like.
Worst injury you picked up?
Worst injury. Well, when I was 19, I had a severe injury, which I think, you know, near enough ended my career. If I'm honest with you, I snapped my posterior cruciate and shattered my tibial condyle bone in my knee, and I was told I would never play again by two specialists at the time.
This was playing against who?
Leighton Orient.
Yeah,
at Brisbane Road in the first 13 seconds of the game, first tackle. And this guy called John Sitton, who went on to manage the club for Leighton, was a big centre half, and he was a high tackle, and he snapped everything in half and put me out the game for a year, and had to bone grafts, bolts, pins. And I just said to specialists, said, you'll never play again. And I was just going to get sold as well at the time. You know, by Blues.
When they tell you was never going to play again, how did that make you feel?
Well, you're 19, and all he said to me, the top surgeon in Europe at the time, who operated on Alan Shearer and people like that, he just said, looked at the MRI scan.
What was he doing with a Birmingham City player on town?
I know, he just said, unfortunately my agent at the time took me to the best surgeon available, which was this guy down in Cambridge, and he just, when they say that to you, you'll never play again, he said, you'll be lucky if you walk properly again anyway, rather than play. So obviously when they tell you that, what do? You know, you're just in bits. And I think the fortunate thing for me, I didn't carry much weight, so when I did start my rehabilitation, I didn't have that much weight going through my knees, if I'm honest with you, and I think that helped me. Being skinny, and I was quite lucky. I was extremely lucky to get back playing, but I was never ever the same after that.
Well, this has been the first half with Paul Tait on the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by JS Spooner Limited, JS Spooner Contracts Limited, and we're calling it to half time.
We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham's the team, down at St Andrews. We are all supporters of our team. We chanted Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's hear you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the pointed roll when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have a team that's tops here at St Andrews. They gotta give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever, let's hear it from the stand. So come on City, sing this song once more. support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We are the lads from Tilton.
Back to the Tilton Talk Show Monday night with Paul Tait and our resident Scottish listener, our lovely Eve, is a Celtic fan. What do you think of that, mate?
It's alright, isn't it?
It's a bit like
one of my best pals, obviously.
it's
Paul,
a bit like the opposite side of the A38.
yeah, one of the best
isn't
pals,
it?
Paul Devlin. He's a Celtic supporter.
Right.
He's a godfather to my eldest boy. But he's been my room partner, Devs. So you can imagine us fighting and everything, can't you? In the overnight trips we used to have.
Yeah, I can imagine Dev's being a bit of a nutter.
He's all right. Yeah, he's a good lad, Devs.
You have to ask him to come in one day.
He's a nice lad, Devs.
Right, I think we've got little Capo on the phone. Capo, how are you doing, sunshine?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear. Hello.
Excellent, well
Good
done.
stuff.
Crack on.
Far away. Time is of
Okay,
the essence.
so it's just a question for you, Paul, really. After everything that's happened recently down St Andrews, what are your thoughts on the protests?
Your thoughts on the recent protests?
The recent protests. Obviously, I wish the owners of the club were there to see it. I'm sure they hear about it, but it disheartens me that that we have to do that. That it has come to that. But
it has. We're 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
Okay, D-Day is this Friday, and we don't know what's going to casting, but he's already out of the equation. It's already gone, so it's not going to make any difference. Is it?
I don't think you can do anything down the club. They won't care. They won't care. The owners. If you protest, do whatever. It kills me to think that they're not there every game. That someone's not there, so the fans can voice their disapproval. That really does my nut in. But we'll see in the next few days what happens. But I can't see them relinquishing power just like that. I just don't see it. Do you know what I mean? I can't see it. He's not in BIHL anymore. He's out of this. He's putting other people in place. Who knows? The club is in absolute turmoil.
Yeah.
I think that the heart and soul has been ripped out of the club
again.
It's awful.
Again,
it's absolutely shocking.
It's the third time in recent history.
Yeah, it's not good. But the protests, the Blues fans. I'll tell you what I love about the Blues fans. They've been dignified in what they've done. Been put through the mill, but they've still stuck with the team. That's what I can't understand. The home performances, where Lee Clark was come out and said, "Look, the players seem to be scared." There's nothing to be scared of. The players, the fans have never booed the players.
No.
They've been behind them. All they want is that spark to get the fan, to get going, to get them going. So look, I don't understand why we have been so rubbish at home. Because, keep an eye back when I played. I remember I played when we did get booed and the dressing rooms got attacked by supporters, all the windows got smashed to bits when you're sitting in a bath and all of a sudden you got a bruise block coming through. Them players want to play when I played. They were good protests then. Do you know what I mean?
They're more restrained now.
They're very restrained. The fans there, the fans I know go to the game just to get drunk round by the ground. So if you can go into the pubs round by the ground and at 3:15 they're full of lunatics.
Yeah.
Drunk, and I think that's what the castle. They want to go back and see how many lunatics are still in the pubs who are refusing to go to the game. They're killing the club.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I disagree with the fact that all Blues fans have stuck behind the team because our last home game we got 14,000 down there, so it just feels to me like the attendances are dropping. So I think that the attendances has something to do with the poor home form, but then on the flip side of that, it's a vicious circle because the longer the poor home results continue, then attendances aren't going to improve. So
vicious circle, isn't it?
Yeah, but the fans who are going, they're not getting on the players' backs. Well, I've heard anyway.
Not really, no.
You get the odd disapprovals. You're going to get.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you're going to get it. But it's not en masse when everyone just goes absolutely crazy at the club. And the players on the pitch, I've seen a couple of players being singled out a couple of times.
I find quite strange this time round, and I think this is like the third real crisis that we've had, certainly in my living memory. Is that like you say, it would have been breeze blocks through the windows back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 90s perhaps, and now it's taken us 3 years to get a few flags together.
Yeah,
that's quite.
I suppose in those days you could get away with literally anything.
Capo,
you're going to have to turn your radio off, sunshine.
Capo, turn your radio down.
I haven't got it on.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I suppose in those days you could get away with anything, down to the police not being on the ball. These days, if you whatever you do, you know, at St Andrews you put the wrong flag and you're getting ejected. That's the difference now. You can get a banning order as well. It's not just that, you get banned. And the police just love giving out them banning orders. You know, so I think supporters these days have got to be very, very careful on what they do.
So many CCTVs around as well.
It's everything. You know, the police know where you live, what job you do. You know, and the supporters, is it worth the risk of losing their job? And everything. You know, it's a very, very difficult situation for the supporters at the moment.
Then the real Paul Tait.
Right then, where do you want to start?
By the way, we've got a Terry's chocolate orange. Terry's chocolate orange on the go. Does anybody want a piece?
No. No, it's no good to me.
You're in training, aren't you?
I'm in training. Of all that rubbish.
You'll have to sit and watch us. So, come on, the bad old days.
The bad old days.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when I played, before I played.
When you played?
When I played. Well, I had a lot of mental health issues when I played, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I'd suffered with...
Were you playing for Birmingham City?
I'll put it down to that. No, I did. I suffered with a lot of mental health issues. I was in the Priory Clinic for 18, as an outpatient for 18 months. It was called the Woodbourne Clinic in Edgbaston. I know, like Stan Collymore and I would go down to the one in London. But the club put me into the one in the Woodbourne Clinic in Edgbaston. I was going through a lot of turmoil in my private life, and the club were looking to move me on, shall we say, because I was becoming a major problem, getting involved with the police, involved with gangs, which I shouldn't have been doing. And I was involved in a hell of a lot of naughty stuff, if I'm honest with you, which as a professional footballer you shouldn't have been doing. It's only when you come out of take yourself out of the equation, I'm a lot older, with grown up a little bit, shall we say, with kids and that you look back and think, what on earth was I doing? No one forced me to do anything, but with my mental health issues that I did have, and the people who I was associating with were very, very dangerous people.
More slightly undesirable.
And they're all dead now. That's the problem.
You're the only one left.
I survived. They're all dead. So I think I've done pretty well. But
well, when you say mental health issues, roughly what do you mean by mental health?
A lot of depression. Depression. I was going through substance abuse. I was heavily involved in certain things at the time. You know, substance abuse. And the club. I went to the club and said, "Listen, I need your help, because I think I'm going to die. I really think I'm going to." The people who I'm mixing with were extremely dodgy, shall we say?
And how good were the club?
They're brilliant. Yeah, Karen Brady saved my life. I reckon if it wasn't for her, I don't reckon I'd be here today, because I'd either been banged up, shot, or I'd topped myself. And she took me under her wing, and she got me in the clinic. And you know, I had to go twice a week as an outpatient, and it really helped me. It was a really difficult time. You know, I remember being in my bedroom for 2 days, not coming out, just going absolutely off my rocker, smashing it up, and sitting there, just didn't have a clue what day it was. You know, and it wasn't like, you know, the thing about the supporters, what they say now, but players got that much money, you know, you want to be down the pit, and if all you want to be like earning, not putting bread on the table for your kids. But it didn't matter how much money you earn. You don't think about that when you've got mental health issues. It doesn't come into the equation. I didn't earn any money out the game anyway. You know, I wasn't on like the players that were earning. I was on £28.50 when I started. So like, it didn't come into the equation, those type of things, money and that. It was just the social circles that I got mixed up in were, because I come from inner city Birmingham, you know, and I grew up with these lads. It was hard to get away, and you know what? I didn't. At that time, when Mum and Dad split up, and I latched on to certain groups, shall we say, as they will become part of your family. You know, because you haven't got anyone else there, and it was quite difficult, if I'm honest with you, for years. And to this day, I'm still in counselling. To this day. I'm still, you know, it was only a few months ago I stopped going again, but I'll start up again, because I'll no doubt I'll have a relapse, and it's just trying to manage it, you see. It's really, really difficult. My wife, I'm quite fortunate, my wife's an integrative psychotherapist, and you know, she's quite good. I'm her best patient, you know. So it's been really, really difficult, if I'm honest with you. Really, really hard to I've got myself into some ridiculously stupid situations over the years.
But like you say, you've got kids now, and
kids now, and
you know what I mean?
my main priority is making sure they don't fall into the same trap as me, and being there for them, so they haven't got to fall into the gang culture which I fell into,
right.
and looking out for other people. That as long as my wife and I are there for them, there's no reason for them to do that, and I know they won't do that anyway, because I know exactly what they're doing and where they're going. Whereas my parents had a bit more of a freer range, shall we say? You know what I mean? And once you give your kids that, I think that's when you struggle.
Okay, obviously you do a lot of pranking and messing around in between games, and perhaps even on match day.
Yeah.
What was one of the daftest things you got up to?
Daftest things?
Yeah.
As in
practical jokes on others. And
practical
stuff like
jokes
that.
on others.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Someone did a practical joke on me. The worst one ever.
That one then.
The worst one ever. I left Blues and joined Oxford. Right. Didn't want to, but I had to. Because I fell out with Trevor Francis and that, and it's obvious if I stayed, I would have killed him. You know what I mean? I was getting to that. Mick Mills. I just didn't like him. And then I went to Oxford, and they had this guy there called Terry, who used to play pranks on the England team and things like that. So we were in training. I'd only been there 2 or 3 days, and we were in the training field, and this old guy come walking across, big old lump, come walking across the field, drunk, with a bottle in his hand, swearing and everything. I just thought, stay out of his way, So he pulled out this big cosh out of his jacket, and I think, what's he doing? So he starts waving it, and everyone's backing off and everything. He's got a bag. So I'm just moving away with the rest of the players. Next thing you know, he's dropped the cosh, pulled out his bag, pulled out a gun. So I've gone, everyone's gone, he's got a gun, run. So I'm thinking, oh my dear. So we started to run, and everyone's run one way, and I've run the other way, and who's he come after? He's come after me, ain't he? I was thinking, I can't believe this. I've only been here 2 days, and I've got a geezer legging after me with a shooter. Well, I've moved away to get away from all this. Next thing you know, I've heard bang, bang. He's firing at me. So I'm like, can you imagine me running across the field? I'm diving, gambolling, trying to get away from this geezer. And he's legging out, he wouldn't stop, but he kept on firing. I hid behind this big oak tree, and I was out of breath, and I was thinking, he's going to kill me. And he obviously was firing blanks, but I didn't know that. He was the top prankster going. He's had players in the showers with the guns to their head, crying their eyes out. He's been really bad, this geezer.
That's not very nice, is it?
It's not very nice.
Not a good prank.
Well, especially my mentality as well. So like, I'm riding behind this big tree, and he said to me, I've seen these two right next to a golf course, and this guy's was putting, right? So I've just run on the golf course, grabbed his putter off him. I said, sorry. I said, but I need this. I said, I need to defend myself. I said, someone's trying to kill me. So I've got behind this tree, and this big Terry's come up and said, it didn't say then, it was a joke. He said, put the club down, otherwise I'm going to shoot you. And I thought, what do I do? How many shots has he had? I'm thinking, he's had too many shots. He can't have any shots left. I think I'm going to take a chance here. I said, is that right, mate? So like, I've jumped from behind the tree with me putter, and I've just run at him, and I've hit him with the putter, and he's happened to put his arm up, right? Oh, I'm so glad he put his arm up, because I'd have been on a murder charge. But I thought I'm fighting for my life, and I'm not.
I've done the same, man.
I've hit him anyway, and I've got the golf club snapped. I've hit him, and all you've seen is blood go everywhere, and his arms are bones sticking out, and I was awful of his hands. And the next thing you know, all the players are coming over shouting, no, like that. Big Kev Francis was there at the time. He was playing for Oxford. And the next thing I'm lifted off the floor. This big guy's lifted me off the floor, and it was his son that's got me off the floor by the throat. He's massive. He's going to kill me. He said, "You've hit my dad," but I didn't have a clue what was going on. I just thought this guy was trying to kill me, and I'm defending myself.
I would have done the same.
So we all got, He went off to hospital, and he was a window cleaner by trade, and he couldn't work for him. Tried to sue me then, the guy did. Tried to sue me, and I said, "You're having a laugh." So I'm paying anything. I said, whenever you see the club, I said, it shouldn't have happened. I've only been there 2 days. And I'd mad at Big Kev Francis. I said, how can you do that to me? I said, you know what I'm like? Mentally. I said, don't do that to me. But it made all the papers down there. It was like the press took on it. It was the, double page pull out of it. And it was being a new club for 2 days, it wasn't what you really wanted. Do you know what I mean? It was
not good for the profile, was it? But having said that, some guy's chasing you with a gun,
and he was firing blanks, And
I don't say you didn't know that.
I didn't know that, and I can honestly say I've never been so scared in my entire life.
You're not going to stand still and say, "Let's see if one of these is real."
I was. It was like I don't know, like a John Cleese moment. I was darting in and out, and I was diving. It must have been funny, like Benny Hill. It must have been funny to watch, but at the time, I've never been so scared in my entire life. It was absolutely frightening. But
cracking
things
story.
that I've done to players as well. I've done some naughty things, like, you know what I mean. But no, I can't, because the.
If you can't, you can't. Yeah, nobody's listening.
I'll tell you one that I did. I was at an awards do in the Birmingham City Centre with 2 other players, and we were voted for some of Midland awards, and I got thrown out as usual for doing something. I can't remember what it was. So I got thrown out of this award ceremony. Right, I don't know, I can't remember. I had a scuffle with someone, and left the other 2 players there. And I said, I've got to go home. So you've got to go home. So I went home, and then I got a phone call off the other 2 players in the night to say that they were with two girls in a hotel room. I went, right, okay, like that. I won't mention no names because
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're in this hotel room, these 2 girls. Anyway, one of the guys' wife found out the hotel room, knocked on the door, and they opened the door, and obviously the 2 players were standing there, and there's 2 girls in the room, all everyone naked. Obviously, he's copped a dig off his missus, and his whole lot's gone. So what I did, I thought, I'll have a crack with those 2 for ditching me. So, obviously the whole lot's gone in it. The one player's had to get out of his house for about 2 months. He had to leave. So I thought, I got my sister to pretend she was one of the girls and contact one of the players, say she was from the News of the World and wanted 20 grand, or she's spilling the beans. And he was he was crying. We had him crying down the phone, and he was literally crying, "You can't do that. You can't. No, I'm a married man. Please don't do this to me. Please don't do this." And I suppose it was a nasty thing to do, but I found it quite funny at the time. And he was crying. "You can't do this. She'll take me for everything." And my sister was brilliant. Had it fair play to her. She was going, "Well, you should have thought about that. But I want 20 grand." And he was going, "Can't you get it down to 10? And I was going, 15. I was going, "Say 15. Oh, she was going, "I'll meet you halfway, 15. He went, "Oh, you're going to have to give me some time to get it together. And I left it. I said, we'll be in touch. Put the phone down. And I left it a few days and phoned him back again. "You didn't mean it, did you?" "Yeah, I meant it. 15 grand, what 15 grand? Off you." I left it another week and had him going. And he confided in me. "I'm in trouble." And I was going, "Oh." So that's terrible. Why can someone do that?
How did you not laugh?
What? Because I'm evil. Because when I got thrown out this award ceremony, they should have come with me, come out on the set and have a beer with me. They should have left me, and I was fuming. But I had him going. When I told him, oh dear, he was going to kill me. He pinned me up. Oh, it was hilarious. But I was laughing so much. But that was a good one. That was a good one because it went on for so long. But he was actually crying. The player was crying his eyes out. Which you would do if you had the News of the World on your case.
Yeah, you would.
We were gonna someone blackmailing you.
Well, you're not that evil because you've got a charity ball coming up.
I have.
Tell us all about it.
Well, I'm actually. I shouldn't have said all that. I'm actually an ambassador for Autism Birmingham. Right, I've got a child with Asperger's. You see, and I've got there's a charity called Autism Birmingham, and it's run by two people called Lisa and Pete Mace, big Birmingham City supporters. And we've got a charity putting together on Sunday, April the 27th at St Andrews in the Legends Lounge. And we've got Tom Ross comparing it, Ian Danta from Talk Sport.
He's been in the studio.
We've got Chris Scudder from Sky. We've got a guy from the X Factor called Scott James who's got Asperger's, who got down to boot camp singing for us on the night.
Right.
We've got a 4-piece jazz group play music for us all night as well. It's going to be a fantastic night, and if anyone wants to come, there's plenty of tables available. It's going to be a fantastic event. I've got the phone number here and I've got a website. You can go on as well.
How much are tickets?
I think it's a 3-course meal, You get, I think they're going for £50 a ticket, something like that. But Lisa's got more info. Can I give her number?
Absolutely.
The name's Lisa, everyone. I'd love to see you there.
Stick it on the shout box.
There's going to be loads of ex-players there as well who are coming along, former players from Birmingham. Her number is 07964 144 942. That's 07964 144 942. Or you can contact her autismbirmingham@gmail.com. That's AUTISM Birmingham@gmail.com. It's going to be a fantastic event that we're putting together. It's a first year anniversary of Autism Birmingham. It's a fantastic charity which Lisa and Pete have set up, to help kids with autism.
Well, both that number and the email address have just been up on the shout box, so if anybody wants tickets.
I've got a football match I'm putting together as well. But a load of ex-Blues players playing at Alzo in Town Football Club on Sunday the 4th of May.
Who's turning up?
It's going to be, I'm hoping to get Ward there, John Michael Johnson, Devs, Jerry Gill, Nicky Clark, Dean Altham. A lot of the ex-Blues All-Stars team are going to be playing. I'm hoping to get Dave Boost there as well. I'm hoping to get Jody Craddock from Wolves, if it depends if he can play because of his testimonial game. But I'm trying to get as many players there as I can. It's at Halso Down Football Club Sunday, it's bank holiday weekend, that is.
And this is for the same charity, is it?
This is for split charities. I think it's for Birmingham Autism Birmingham, and I think that's my charity. And the guy from Halso, and I think he's in Help for Heroes or something like that. Sunday the 4th of May. That's bank holiday weekend. That is. At Halso in Town, the Elks Football Club. That's two things there, which is a fantastic, worthwhile cause. But the one at St Andrews, I've been with the guys who have set it all up about Birmingham City supporters as well. And it's been sponsored by Easy Group as well, which are really helping the cause.
Well, Blue Harbour says he's looking forward to the Blues Collective night
on the 21st. That's is that the one with?
There's a few, isn't that?
Yeah.
That's on the 4th.
That's the one with John O'Devs and Jeff Horsfield, isn't it? That's the one with John O'Devs and Horsfield. Yeah, yeah. And we've got a 90s reunion as well at the club on Friday the 21st of March.
I don't think it'll be 90s music.
No, it's just all the players from the early 90s, like me, Daishi, Wardy. I think Dev's going to be there, so if anyone wants to come down and have a drink after, come out with us. We'll get you banned from Birmingham.
Lovely. Way to go. All right, what's your take on Lee Clark?
I like him.
Yep.
I like Lee Clark. Yeah, I think he's an honest guy. In difficult situation. I mean, I speak to people behind the scenes and a lot of the press guys who speak to him know him better than I do, and they really like him. They say he's an honest chap, and his hands are tied at the moment. I mean, some of the players he's brought in, the fans haven't taken to him, especially like Lee Novak, who works his socks off every game, and he still gets a lot of grief.
I think he's probably buried a part of that now with
do you think?
The brace. No,
I don't know.
It don't take us long, I don't
know. On some of the forums, the fans straight away are still on his back straight away. I think once fans don't like you, they don't like you regardless. He could score 5 goals, and I still think he'd have fans on his back, if I'm honest with you. And that's football. You take the rough with the smooth. You're going to get fans who don't like you, you're going to get fans who love you. And you've just got to take it.
Are you glad you did it in an age not of social networking?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know there's an actual site dedicated to hating me. My son found it.
Is there? I'm going to have to find it.
Something, yeah. Something Blues Villa Banter. He said there's about 40 pages of hatred over what they're going to do to me and all this, and what they're planning on doing. But I said, well, they've had long enough. I said, they know where I live, where I am. I said, they're taking long enough, aren't they, to do these threats, really.
And whilst we've got Paul Tait in the studio, don't forget, guys, Blues Ladies will be kicking off their season Wednesday, May the 14th, home to Everton at the new ground, Solihull Moors. The new kit's been revealed, and the Champions League game versus Arsenal, which I will be going to, he will be going to now. We are all going to, because on a Monday night, so we're actually going to give up the show on a Monday night. We're going to go to the Blues Ladies Arsenal game. That is on Monday, March the 24th, kick-off 7 o'clock, £6 and £3 concessions.
So I'll coach on Mondays. I'm off tonight because there's exams in the school where I coach.
And Paul Tait's take on ladies football then?
I think they're really good. I mean, I coach boys and girls are easier to coach than boys.
Yeah.
They listen so much, honestly, and they're technically very, very good. A lot of the girls who come to me, and it'd be nice to get more girls involved. I think my problem where I've got, whereas I have boys and girls coming to me, the girls are a bit more intimidated, whereas if I said it was just girls, you'll probably get a lot more girls coming. But honestly, the only thing that lets them down, I think, is the goalkeeping. when I've seen women's professional matches, I think that's the one area where they've really got to work on. Technically, they're very, very good.
So we've always had cracking goalkeepers at St Andrews.
Yeah.
All through the years.
Yeah, we have.
Ever since I can remember, and we were talking about this quite a while ago, Chris, the goalkeeping standard at St Andrews has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Yeah.
Roger Hansbury, remember him?
Yeah, going back to Jim Montgomery.
Andy Gosney, no knees. When we signed him, he said, I can't play long. He said, I've got no knees. I went, where did you get past medical? He said, I didn't have one. Remember, he went for the ball one game, he said his knee just gave way and the ball just trickled into the net. I went, oh dear. He was correct, he has got no knees.
No knees, Gosney.
No knees, Gosney.
There is, of course, Gary Sprague, there's always the exception.
That's before my time. Showing your age now.
No, I am.
Yeah, we had fantastic goalkeepers down the years. We had a lot of characters. So with our club, we've always had characters.
How old are you now, Paul?
I'm 42.
42. Right, so I've got 10 years on you. So
yeah,
don't look it, is it?
No.
All right, tell us about the infamous T-shirt at Wembley, because that's one question I'm dying to
T-shirt.
I've got a few questions.
Well, couple of nights before I played in a game at St Andrews in a reserve game. Is it against? I can't remember who it was. I scored. Ricardo scored, and straight down to St Albans to the hotel we went straight after the game. Stayed there for a couple of days, and I just had this dream that I was going to score. Don't know what it was. I was sharing a room with Steve Robinson, and got up on the morning of the game. I was thinking, I'm going to score today. I've got this feeling. I know I wasn't going to be playing, so I was being ill for 2 weeks with the virus, and I thought. Baz told me you're going to be on the bench. I thought, that's bang on, as long as I'm involved. And, in those days, it's not like that when players wear all these mad lycra tops and everything's out for them, and, we just had your kit there, and then it was in a box with all T-shirts, if you want to put a T-shirt on. And there's one T-shirt left in the box, and no one ever seen it before. It was really small, and it wouldn't fit anyone else bar me. So I've looked at it, I thought, what's it on here? I thought, bloody hell, it's bang on there. And I thought, I'll wear that, like, you know what I mean? But it was really, like,
so
small.
From the photographs, and I was looking at the photographs the other night, it looks to me like it was your T-shirt, you know what I mean? You'd bought it especially for the occasion, really?
No one in that dressing room, kit man, no one knows where it come from. No one admitted, I brought that. No one. It was worn as well. It wasn't a brand new one. It was battered.
Got sweat on it.
It was just an old top. So, obviously, when the premonition had that I was going to score, and when it did come to fruition, you don't really think what you're doing. If I'm honest with you, general consensus with my brain works. If you've been listening to me, I don't really think about what I'm doing until I've done something disastrous and think, oh dear. So I went to score, run behind the thing, rip off the top, celebrate the supporters, going absolutely crackers. I can't believe it. It's just unbelievable feeling. And it's up till you turn around and you see all these guys in luminous orange tops going photographing you think, oh dear. And then you realise, and so after about 10 seconds you think, oh no. Then Baz jumps on me and goes, what have you done? Not what have you done now? I can't believe you. What have you done? Cover it up like that. And he was going, oh no, what have I done? So it was
so you knew at that time he was going to be in trouble?
I was in trouble. As soon as I come out of the dressing room, there's a guy called David Moore from the Daily Mirror. He wouldn't leave me alone. He was verbally me and having a go, and what made you wear that? He was just being nasty, and I had to tell him to do one, so I was going to whack him. And he was doing me nothing. So we went back to the hotel after in Waltham Abbey to celebrate. We've not massively celebrated, so we were going against Brentford a few days later, and David Sullivan pulled me then with the goals. I went, oh no, this is it now. This is the final nail in the coffin for me. This is score the winning goal, but I think they're going to sack me because, he just said, right then, this T-shirt, where did you get it from? And I said, I don't know about. I said it was just in the field, bricking it there and all, because I don't really mind. He's been throwing condoms and everything at me in the past. So he's going.
Another story.
That's another story. Yeah. He's going mad at me. And where'd you get it from? And all of a sudden he just changed. I said, well, why do you want to know anyway? I said, because I want to get someone, sell them in the club shop. So I'm going to make millions. So I'll make millions. And put his arm round me. That was it. He said, on you go. I was so bang on. So when I had a little glass of champagne then, because I thought he was going to sack me, because I've been in that much trouble, I've been that much of a nose, a bad lad. I thought, this is it, it's a final nail in the coffin for me. I thought, but he was. That's all.
I never did see anything in the club shop though. Never.
Sorry.
I never did see any in the club
shop.
I
don't think you would. I don't think you'll see them in the club shop for some reason. No, but that was it, and he was really good about it. Then obviously I got banned from from the FA, put in front of a disciplinary committee or panel, sorry, and
What was Paul Tait like in front of that disciplinary?
I said for 5 hours.
Sorry, 5 hours.
They tried to ban me for 6 months to start with. Then Jack Wiseman come out and said, we've got it down to 4 months. I said, you are joking. I said, it's like worse than being in court, this is. I said, just tell them to give me 3 months. I said, I want to go home. So give me like, felt so give them send me down. They could be done with it. So for 5 hours, and in the end, kept on arguing, coming back out, coming back in. In the end, they got it down to no games, £500 FA fine, and 2 weeks' wages from the club. But the club didn't fine me. They said, they just put their arm around me and said, it's just like winked and all that. Said, we'll keep that one. Swinging Jack Wiseman, legend, just said, we'll keep that one for us, you balmy.
Jack Wiseman, a true legend.
A legend, yeah. And I had to pay my fine to the FA. £500.
Yeah.
But it, to me at the time, I wasn't that much money. It still killed me. Even like today, but it was worth it. It was just a chapter in my life which is still going on.
Paul, have you still got the shirt?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've still got it. Yeah, I've still got it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I've still got it all
I'm
framed.
surprised you didn't come in it then tonight.
It's framed. I've got it all framed, and all the cuttings from the time, like all the bad comments.
Will you just say, will you take a photograph of it and stick it on our Twitter account?
Yeah. I'll do it.
That'd be brilliant.
Right, yeah. Do you ever get any offers for it?
I've had offers, yeah. But I mean, I would never say it because it's
not my ex-wife.
Sorry,
it's his mum.
It's something it's part of me, isn't it?
It's Paul Tait.
It's me what I did.
Well, the thing is, anybody nowadays mentions those two words to me, Paul Tait. This image comes to me of this.
Well, I can go anywhere.
With a t-shirt on.
Yeah, I can go anywhere. As in on holiday, when I go on holiday, and people say, play football. I used to play football for Birmingham. What's your name? And most times they go, oh my God, are you that one? I went, oh yeah. And I was waiting for the left hook or the straight right to come at my head or something from the fan or something.
Cracking way to be remembered though at a Wembley Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, because at the time the players were it wasn't long after, I think it was the Eric Cantona infamous karate kick on the Crystal Palace fan, and players were were getting brought up by the press a lot more for doing bad things. That players were looked setting bad examples, and I think I was just adding to the problem, at the time. But it's
good fun though, wasn't
it? Some of fun. It. But it's why you've still got to watch my back, like, you know what I mean? It's a strange one. It's a strange one. I mean, I've got people I know who are loads of Villa fans and that, and they're not really. Some of them are bothered and some of them aren't, But I'm sure if a Villa fan had done it against Blues, they'd probably like the Villa player who'd done it. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Right, I'll just ask another question here. Which Premiership team do you enjoy watching the most, and who do you think will win the Premiership and the Championship titles?
Well, obviously, I think we'll start with the Championship. I think Leicester.
Looks like Leicester
I think they're the strongest team I've seen down at St Andrews this season. Leicester. Well, I don't think much at QPR when we went there.
What happened to them the weekend?
Yeah, Stroud's local derby as well. Isn't anything can happen. But for the Premiership, who do I like watching? I think Liverpool this season. I like watching Liverpool. I think they scored 70 goals. Liverpool have this season. They're quite entertaining. I don't like watching the Premiership, if I'm honest with you. I got rid of Sky Sports. It was doing me head in because I find myself on a Sunday watching 3 games for teams I don't like. I don't like anyone. If I'm honest with you, I watch football, but I like watching Birmingham, obviously, because I support them. But the Premiership, it just does my head in a little bit. There's that much of it. If I might watch the highlights on Saturday day or something, I've just had enough of it.
He had his last shift. He was working in a pub back in town, and his last shift was on Sunday because it was his last shift. He normally the punters say which football game they want on, and he decided no, the Newcastle Villa game's going on with that.
I hate watching that.
And he was dancing around the pub with a Geordie.
Yeah,
goal went in on 90.
Well, I didn't know the score. I was in training at the time, and I didn't know the score till I was training with it.
Sunday pub league, was that bad?
Yeah, I didn't see. As I say, I've got BT Sport purely for the UFC.
Well, it certainly doesn't look like we're going to go up this year now. I think it's done. But we could still have a local derby next year. They're only 4 points off the drop zone, so who knows? Who cares?
Yeah, well, it looks like Wolves are coming up as well. Don't forget.
Well, yeah.
I think Wolves will come up. I think they're certs to come up. I think they're strong. I can't see the point in Villa coming down. I sound like to see Villa come down, but I just think there'll be. they'll be way too strong for the Championship.
We were listening to Radio West Midlands on the way in, and we were just like laughing at the supporters' comments, one after the other. It's reminiscent of what we've been through so many times. And it's actually quite nice and refreshing to hear it coming from the other side of the city.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I'm more of the thing that I'm probably one of the few that don't want Villa to come down.
Listen, we're nearly out of time, chap. Let me just recap on something we did last week, because I did say Blackpool 1, Blues 2. I was the closest, even though Chris, you got a 0-1. GA was 1-1. You was 1-0 to.
You got the right one.
No, I don't think so.
WB.
He's got the wrong one.
No, is that the wrong one? Is that the wrong one? What are we looking at here? I can't see where it is.
No.
And no, that's the Leicester and the Derby ones going back.
I said 2-1.
I'm pretty sure I said 1-1.
Somebody did say 2-1. No, I think.
Did they? Anyway, all right. Ipswich away. Quick.
Well, I'm not going to that one, and we normally lose when I don't go to an away game, so 2-1 to Ipswich.
Ipswich 2, Blues 1.
Sure.
Paul.
That's what he's
I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. That's Gabriel. Paul. Adam.
3-0, screw it. Up the Blues.
Up the Blues. Good. I love it. 0-3. Come on.
It's not going to happen, but...
Chris.
I'll go for a 1-0 Blues.
0-1 GA.
1-1.
And I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
Sorry, and me, I'm going to go for a 0-2 to the Blues. So, very diverse opinions there.
Ollie's gone for 2-0.
Ipswich Blues. Who, sorry?
Ollie's gone for 2-0.
We'll put Ollie down as well. 0-2. Oh, to Ipswich.
Yeah.
Tell him I'll bat him next time I see him.
Okay.
The Tilton Talk Show, as sponsored by JS Spooner Contracts Limited, is now almost over. Paul Tait, thanks ever so much for coming in. You know what's coming out at you, Paul? We've just given you the clap.
That's another story.
Gabriel, thanks for coming down again, dude. Paul, great to see you.
Thank you.
Get some of the others involved if you want, mate. Some of your, some of your closest, and we'll pull them through the same mill. We do it for fun.
Problem.
We do this for fun. We love doing it. We come out every single Monday, and we turn up. Adam, thanks for coming down. He's met his schoolboy hero at last. There you go. Shake his hand live on radio. There you go. Chris, thanks ever so much for being on the buttons, and also GA for being so helpful on the shout box, etc., etc., etc. It's full time. This is the Tilton Talk Show. Good night. Keep right on to the end of the road.
We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say?
This has been a Sports Radio Birmingham production. Make sure you tune into the Tilton Talk Show every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on www.sports-radio.co.uk.